All right, y'all, got some bonus stuff for you here that I'm excited to share with you. And also, this is breaking news that just dropped. So this is in raw story here, originally from the New York Times. Go ahead and throw that up there, boys. Alan Weisselberg agrees to testify against Trump's business in move that poses a severe threat to his company. So on the screen here, devastating blow. Weisselberg's agreement to testify could mean death penalty for Trump Organization. They say former Trump Organization financial chief Alan Weisselberg is expected to admit to a 15-year tax fraud scheme on Thursday and is willing to testify against former President Donald Trump's companies, according to multiple reports. I'm going to get back to that in a second. Weisselberg, the former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization and a longtime Trump confidant, going back to his days working for Fred Trump, that's his dad, is expected to admit to 15 felonies, according to the New York Times. Under the deal, he would agree to testify at trial against the Trump Organization if the company does not reach its own settlement, but not against Trump himself or any of his family members. Under the terms, Weisselberg would receive a 5-month prison sentence, but only serve about 100 days, according to CNN. He faced up to 15 years at trial. He would also be required to pay about $2 million in restitution, back taxes, penalties, and interest, according to the Associated Press. The key point there, and this was confusing me last night when we were beginning to see some leaks about this story come out, is that he's willing to testify against the Trump Organization, but somehow not against Trump himself. Now, the only way I can make sense of that is this. There is no criminal investigation, or at least the criminal investigation into Trump for his business practices has stalled. However, Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, is bringing a civil case against Donald Trump's businesses. And, this includes bank fraud, tax fraud, insurance fraud. Basically, he was cooking the books for, I guess 15 years is what they're charging him with. In all seriousness, he was probably cooking the books since he started being a businessman, which was probably all the way back in the 70s. So the difference between the civil trial and the criminal trial, of course, is that a criminal trial would mean that Trump could face jail time. A civil trial just means either he's going to have to pay a very hefty fine or, and this is what that headline was alluding to there, his organization may get the death penalty, the corporate death penalty. So in other words, no more Trump Organization if this goes like I think they're aiming for it to go. Now, there's also whispers that, or at least one of the articles I read said that if the criminal trial or if the criminal investigation proceeds against Trump, then Weisselberg would have to testify even in that criminal trial. Now that would be huge. Again, that criminal investigation has stalled out, but the civil investigation is ongoing. Now, if you ask me, I literally have no idea why the criminal investigation has stalled out. None whatsoever, because if you have the goods enough for a civil case, I don't know why in this instance it wouldn't reach the bar of criminality. But look, either way, we're either talking about a massive, hefty fine on the Trump Organization or the corporate death penalty. And again, for people who say, well, I don't know, that seems kind of far-fetched, I'm not sure how that would work, understand that Donald Trump had to pay out a $25 million fine over what was called Trump University, which of course was a fake university. He was doing classic scam tactics like something called upselling. He would make all these promises and then not deliver on it. He would tell people that, if you pay X amount, then you get to meet with me one-on-one, and then not even meet with them one-on-one, and had some of the people take pictures with a cardboard cutout of himself. So the details of the Trump University fraud are astounding. Now, again, that was a civil trial, so technically there is no innocent and guilty in a civil trial. But the fact that he paid out $25 million shows you he knew he wasn't doing the right thing. He knew it wasn't on the up and up. So, look, this is huge news because the last time we talked about this, they said quite the opposite, that Weisselberg is going to serve some time, but also he's not flipping at all skis. Now we know that ain't true. He is flipping at least on the Trump Organization itself. So that means something's on the way. And then, of course, we haven't even gotten into the fact that you have a criminal investigation in Georgia because of the fake elector scheme that Trump and Giuliani concocted, and Lindsey Graham was involved in that too. Of course, that phone call, which now Trump is again out there calling it the perfect phone call, when he said, find me 11,000 votes in Georgia, pretty clearly just trying to flat out overthrow an election. And then again, we're not even talking about the situation with the FBI and the DOJ in a totally separate case, Trump basically hiding classified and top secret information and then lying about returning it. I mean, they seem to have him dead to rights on a number of things. So, I mean, look, the cases are heating up more than ever before. So as somebody who was a chief skeptic of Russiagate, for example, I'm here to tell you I do think that this is genuinely different. Now, I don't know how it's going to go because I can't see into the future, but it certainly looks stronger than ever before. The other thing that I wanted to share with you guys real quick is that Mediaite, this is a headline in Mediaite. They say, Trump reportedly mulling whether to release video of FBI raid, potentially showing faces of agents searching Mar-a-Lago. So, and I missed this in the initial story when the FBI raid happened, but all the various media outlets that reported on the details of the raid after the fact, they, of course, did not include the names of the FBI agents for obvious reasons. There was one outlet that decided, no, we're going to show everybody the names of the FBI agents, effectively doxing those FBI agents who did the raid on Mar-a-Lago. And that outlet was Breitbart. Everybody knows, a very far-right outlet. Trump, in turn, shared that, also doxing the FBI agents. Now, it appears like, based on some reporting, it was originally from CNN, and this is Mediaite echoing it, Trump might himself release the video of the security cameras at Mar-a-Lago. The only reason he would do that is either to show what he views as impropriety among what the FBI agents were doing, or to dox them further, to show their faces. Now, I want you to stop and reflect on this for a second. We just had a story the other day where the Ohio FBI office, there was an attempted shooting there, mass shooting there. Guy showed up with a nail gun and an AR-15. Thankfully, he wasn't able to get past security because it turns out security at an FBI building is a lot stronger than security in most places. So, and then that ended up in a car chase and a shootout, and the guy ended up dying. There's also another case, which we're not sure if it's tied to this sort of stuff, but crashed into the barricade at the Capitol and then killed himself in front of it. There's been a massive uptick in direct threats of violence against the FBI, and they're circulating a memo internally that Ken Klippenstein got his hands on that said, hey, heads up, it's getting really saucy out here. And then Donald Trump himself was also sort of doing veiled threats. He allegedly said behind the scenes, I don't know if it was to Merrick Garland or to Wray, the FBI director, said hey man, it's getting kind of crazy out here. We got to turn down the temperature. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't want it to get out of hand or anything like that. And in my opinion, that's Trump saying, okay, you guys are coming after me. I got ways of coming after you. And my ways of coming after you would be stuff like this. If I dox the FBI agents, put them in danger, and, fight back in the realm of public opinion where he's actively utilizing the fringe of the fringe base, the QAnon types, the ones who, given a direct word, probably would not hesitate to commit some violence. Now, I'm not saying it's some, super organized army. We all saw what happened on January 6th. But all you need is a handful of, loner psychopaths who are totally under Trump's cultish spell, and then you're in trouble, man. And then you're in trouble. So in some ways, the cases are heating up where we are closer to some sort of justice than ever before. But at the same time, Trump's never, ever, ever, ever going to go quietly into the night. He's just not going to do it. And so, I mean, I think he would take down the country if it's to save his own ass. I think that's a relatively banal, obvious claim. But anyway, that's where we're at with this. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.